Hello, and welcome to the Over and Back Classic NBA podcast brought to you by StatHead. I am Jason, and with me, as usual, is Rich. Hello, Rich.
Hey, what's going on, Jason?
Oh, man, just having a good time. We're going to be doing another one of our shows built on the research tools at StatHead, doing a search for something fun. This one, as people who follow us on Twitter know, we loved whenever there's someone ever breaks through, has a really giant monster game, and then you'll get NBA.com or whatever Twitter will say, hey, no one has ever done this since Wilt Chamberlain. And one of our favorite running jokes on Twitter is there's always a Wilt stat.
Yep.
And today we are going to be searching the most powerful research tool in sports for StatHead. We are going to look for searches that only return Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes, yeah, we just want Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah, a common thing, and we do it on Twitter all the time. People now send us these as well on Twitter. Yep. Is there's always a Wilt stat, because it's always this guy had this insane amount of rebounds and this insane amount of points and this insane amount of whatever. First guy to do that since Wilt Chamberlain, and every single time it comes up, and it's all these remarkable things, and it's kind of funny how in passing it's just since Wilt Chamberlain. It's maybe let's talk a little bit more about Wilt Chamberlain, who's literally all of these stats is since Wilt Chamberlain. He's the most incredible statistical player in basketball history. But there's always a Wilt stat as a common thing on our Twitter account. It's spread the world, Jason. Everywhere you go, you hear people say there's always a Wilt stat, and we're going to do it here. Yeah, and prove that there's even more Wilt stats than we even knew before, because we're going to uncover some new there's always some Wilt stats here.
At the end of the show, we are going to invite our listeners to actually participate and do their own There's Only a Wilt stat searches at stathead.com. We'll give you a hashtag and some things to do and some instructions for doing that. If you want to share your own after you listen to the show, we would love to see what kind of StatHead searches that you can do to return only Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, it's a fun little challenge. You can get the family involved, get everybody involved in trying to get onto stathead.com and do as many searches as you possibly can and find your own Wilt stat. There are plenty out there, trust us. There are many, many more that we've probably even just barely scratched the surface of Wilt stat. So yeah, get on stathead.com and make your own Wilt stat.
Absolutely. It is, of course, StatHead is powered by the sports reference sites you trust and use every day, including for listeners of the show, of course, Basketball Reference, but you got Baseball Reference, you got the other sports as well. So definitely worth checking out. You use our exclusive promo code BACK to get $20 off an annual subscription to any of stathead.com's products. And thank you so much to stathead.com sponsoring this week's show, giving us the tools to take our research to the next level. Should we get to it, Rich?
Let's do it.
All right. So obviously, first one, 82 to 100 points per game. You list any points above 82 to 100, you're going to only get Wilt Chamberlain, because only Wilt Chamberlain has scored 100 points in a game. So we'll get that one out of the way pretty quickly. Not much more to say there. We have done a couple episodes actually on Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. One of them was, of course, 100 facts about Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. And another was a great interview that we had with Gary Pomerantz, who wrote a fine book on Wilt's 100-point game, and of course a great book on Bob Cousy as well. So definitely worth checking out. But that's the first one I want to mention right there. Yeah,
and that episode, the interview with Gary Pomerantz, we dive into a little bit of can this ever happen again? And I think we all theorize that there's just no way. It's everybody would get weird about it. The player would get weird about it. The other team would get weird about it. The coaches would be weird about it. The media would be weird about it. It's just not the idea that it's ever going to happen again, that a guy will even get anywhere near this 82 to 100 is just, it seems impossible. It just seems absolutely impossible. Who knows? Maybe, but we all theorized, I think Gary agreed with us, that it's just it would just be too ridiculous and nobody would want to really be involved in attempting to do it. So probably not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. 82, maybe 100, and probably not. All right. So Wilt Chamberlain, 62 plus points, 32 rebounds in a game. No one else has ever done it. Wilt Chamberlain did it 5 different times. He had a 78 and 43, 73 and 36, 68 and 34, 63 and 32, and 62 37. He did it, from 1961 to 1967. The last time he did it, he was almost 32 years old. So he has.
I love the 78 and 43 in a loss. This is the perfect Wilt stat.
Right,
it's a 3 overtime loss. He's like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying.
Right.
I have 78 and 43, and they're like, sorry, well, it's just Lakers are the better team this night. He's God damn it.
Yeah, and of course that's the same game in which Baylor had 60. I believe that's the game that Baylor had 63 and 31. Baylor, of course, had an incredible a game as well. It's one of the great duels in NBA history. But Wilt has 8 of 10 60-30 games. Baylor had the aforementioned 63 and 31, and George Mikan had a 61.36 rebound game in his career. So definitely, one of the great games. Incredible of all time. And that was the 63-31 game that Baylor had. Also with 7 assists. So
also had some time to pass the ball too. So
which is great. Good for him. So. We've talked recently, of course, upon Elgin Baylor's passing, talked about some of the great legacy that he's had in his career. So, Wilt Chamberlain also, no one has ever had 70 points, 20 rebounds in a game. Only 3 times he did that. Of course, 125 in his 100-point game. It's pretty good. 78 and 43 already mentioned, and the 73 and 36. And Baylor is the only other player with a 70-20 game. So pretty incredible ones there. What do we got next?
That's pretty awesome. So, all right. So how about 31 points and 40 rebounds in a game? 31 points, 40 rebounds in a game. He did it 12 times. The only other player to have a 30 and 40 game is Bill Russell. So Wilt also has 8 games of 40-40 and 5 games of 50-40. And just to make this, just to give you an idea of just Wilt's insane numbers here, Wilt is the only player with a 70-40 game, a 60-40 game, a 55-45 game, or a 40-40 game as well. 40-40 is a pretty cool stat too.
Right.
It's just absurd. So
it's like him and Jose Canseco.
Yeah, right. That's what I was going to bring up. It's like, the baseball stat, it's just like, 40-40, but it's just like casually, just, 40 rebounds, 40 points. All right, here we go. Another day at the office for old Wilt. Wilt has the most assists his most assists in these 30-40 games is 60. Or 6, sorry. He did not have 60 assists. Sorry. 6. That would be impressive. He scored 31 points, 40 rebounds, and then also had 60 assists. That would be something to talk about. That is a Wilt stat for all time, but no, that is not the case. But again, 31 and 40. He did it 12 different times. And the only guy to ever have a 30-40 game as well to join him is Bill Russell, who, believe it or not, just barely squeaked by a win that game. The Celtics won 110-107 against the Lakers, 1962. So that'd be a hell of a game to watch out in OT.
That's Game 7 finals, of course. Duh.
Of course.
Yes. So that's obviously
a very good game. Yes, very famous, very good game.
Not bad.
Including for some fun Wilt stat stuff here, as we mentioned before, that he lost that 78-43 game. He also lost. Let's do a quick little 1, 2, 3, 4 of those 31 and 40 games, because of course Wilt would find a way to lose those. He had 50 and 40 against the Detroit Pistons in 1964, lost by 2 points. Then he lost by a little bit more against the Celtics, as per usual, when he had 44 and 42, and then a close loss again in a 34-55 rebound game against the Celtics, of course, because it's Wilt Chamberlain. So he would have amazing individual games and then still lose to the Celtics. So
a lot of people lost the Celtics, though. To be fair, I like that. So these are, obviously it was a high scoring era, but I like the fact that he had a 50-40 game in a game in which his team only scored 97 points. So, it's like, guys, put up more than half the points here.
Could somebody do something? No, all right, I'll do it.
Right, all right. Yes. So 20 now, obviously he never had 60 assists in a game. However, he had more than 20 assists. In fact, he had more than 21 points, 21 rebounds, and 21 assists one time. He did that 22, 25, and 21 in a game also against the Pistons in 1968. That was a win. Russell Westbrook is the only other player to have a 20-20-20 game. He did that recently in 2019 against the Lakers, but 21-21-21. Wilt is the only player to ever do that. He is the only player with 30 points, 30 rebounds, and 10 assists in a game. He did that 5 different times, including 53, 32, and 14 in 1968 when he was still with the Sixers against the Lakers. That might be that game that has like that's like the meme one, the one where it's like they say that he had like 20 blocks or like 10 steals or whatever. Those are obviously unofficial, but I believe that might be that's that game that that keeps popping up that funny. Whenever anyone has like a great game, that always gets like thrown out there as a meme. That's kind of become that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and he has 4 of the 6 all-time 40, 25, and 10 games. Only Elgin Baylor and George McGinnis have managed to do that.
George McGinnis, let's get some love to that. Yeah, Indiana 41, 25, and 13 in 1975. That's pretty cool because a lot of these other ones are the other one, Elgin Baylor, obviously in 1961, like one of the most insane seasons in NBA history. Just numbers out of the all-time legends having all-time great seasons or whatever. George McGinnis just smack dab in the middle of the 70s. It's like 41, 25, and 13. Like, yep.
Why not? Yeah,
I think that's really, really cool because that's not an era where that was happening very often. So we're getting those huge numbers from guys. So that's awesome for him.
I am wondering. I don't believe this is the case because I think he was done coaching at this point. But that was against the San Diego team of the ABA. I was wondering if Wilt was on the other side coaching.
Well, he wouldn't know. Wilt would. I don't think Wilt would have been really aware of what was going on. He was just kind of like, what's up? Yeah.
Yes. That was they were playing the Conquistadors that day. I believe that Wilt was no longer coaching.
No, he's done.
Yeah, we got depending on when it was either Alex Groza or Burl Shipley. I've never heard of Burl Shipley before. So, and he only coached for those 46 games in the ABA for the Conquistadors. So, fun times. All right, moving on from Burl Shipley. As much as we would like to keep talking about Burl Shipley, sure? I think we're going to have to move on. So, okay. 30 points, 35 rebounds, 5 assists. Did this 12 different times in his career. The closest to reaching that threshold was Dolph Schayes, who had 28, 35, and 6 at one time in his career. And he won all 12 of these games.
Yeah, see?
No losses here. That's the key.
There it is. So that is the key. Yeah, we found the key.
You just need 35 rebounds and 5 assists.
Yeah, exactly. Just get the ball, move the ball around, Wilt. Come on.
Yeah,
find the open man. Like, let's go.
Yeah, get those rebounds, find the open man. Everything's going to be great, Right. Yeah. Just score 30 points too. So don't always find the open man. Sometimes give it to yourself.
Sometimes you do need to definitely score a few times. But that's we found it. We figured it out. We cracked the Wilt code. Is just have just score a lot, rebound a lot, and then pass a few times, and we got it. So there it is.
That's great. Hey, crack the code. All right. So season wise, Wilt's the only player with 30 points per game and 20 rebounds per game. He did 7 times in his career, 30 points per game, 20 rebounds per game. He had, of course, the 50 and 25 season, where average 50 points per game, 44 and 24, 38 and 27, 37 and 27, 36 and 22, 34 and 22, and 33 and 24, almost 25. That was the 66 season. Is the last time that he did that, age 29 when he was back with the Sixers. Bob Pettit, by the way, only place if you reduce the number of points and still have 20 rebounds. Bob Pettit, the only other player with a 25 point per game, 20 rebound season to 1961, and only Wilt, Pettit, Jerry Lucas, and Nate Thurmond have 2020 seasons. So, and if you want to get it down to 20 and 15, you certainly get more recent. You get more players, but if you look at who has done that the most, even since 1969, which is the end of Wilt Chamberlain, obviously late in Wilt Chamberlain's career, Wilt still has done it as many times as any other player has ever done it since. So, pretty impressive.
Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain. Yeah. These numbers are incredible. You know what? I think we let's encourage some other people to send us some Wilt stuff, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, if you want to participate, you want to dig into stathead.com, you want to find searches that only return Wilt Chamberlain, you want to share them with us at Twitter. Just we got the hashtag ONLY Wilt. If you also want to use, there's always a Wilt stat. We'll allow that one as well. The official hashtag, we're going to go with ONLY Wilt. And if you at StatHead and at Over and Back NBA, if you want to participate, we'll shout it out there. We'd love to get some other people involved and share some of these Wilt searches. We'll also be sharing the searches that we talked about here during the week to participate as well. So maybe we'll get the community out there throwing out some fun Wilt stuff. But it's always just it's mind boggling. I mean, obviously part of this is the era that he played in. I'm not saying he would have necessarily done all of this had he played in a different era, but he still is just an incredible force in the game. Just no one ever put the numbers that he did. I don't think there was ever a force in basketball history and NBA history like him. That some other dominant players, you got Mike in during his era. You got Kareem doing great things. You got Shaq being an incredible force as well. Probably the closest thing that we've ever seen to Wilt. But Wilt was just on a whole nother level in terms of just putting up these just crazy numbers that are just mind boggling.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like even knowing that, and we've done, like you said, we've done multiple shows about Wilt and about his 100-point games and about what he does. Still, as you're going over these just insane numbers, you just can't help but laugh. And I think that's the best part about the Wilt stats is like even in just an insane era that he's playing in, like he still had to do that. Everybody else is playing in the insane era he was playing in, and Elgin Baylor has some pretty crazy numbers. Some other guys have some pretty crazy numbers, but nobody does it like Wilt. And no matter how many times a Wilt stat is read to me, or I find a Wilt stat, or we find them in here, it's just you can't help but just go like, oh my god, it's ridiculous! Like it's unbelievable, it's ridiculous, and it's incredible. So join us. Hashtag Only Wilt at StatHead and at Over and Back NBA on Twitter, and let us know what you find. Put, of course, links to your StatHead search as well. And then, as we mentioned, use it over the code BACK BACK to get $20 off an annual subscription to any of StatHead.com's products. Again, that's our exclusive promo code BACK BACK. $20 off an annual subscription to any of StatHead.com's products. So get on there, give us your Wilt stats, share them, and we'll share them back. And be a fun week of filling the feed with Wilt stats. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely. So I hope others will enjoy that as well. And thanks again to stathead.com sponsoring this week's show, giving us the tools to take our research to the next level. Thanks everyone for checking us out, for listening, for following us on Twitter at Over and Back. We're also on Facebook at Over and Back. If you're an old person, you still like to use Facebook, we will talk to you over there as well. We're kind of old people now, so we're not into all the newfangled sites.
We're not on the Tick or the Talk.
We're not on either one. I mean, we're on
Jason's
Twitter.
Gonna do dancing. Soon. Jason's getting all of his dancing ready.
Absolutely.
The lip syncing and dancing is all ready to go, but we just we haven't released them just yet. But soon.
I'll be dancing to Wilt Chamberlain highlights.
right. That's it. Oh, hold on a minute.
There we go.
hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Let's edit this off the podcast because that's $1 million idea that we got right there. So
all right,
hold on.
If you want to participate this week in our, go to stathead.com, do the search on their basketball reference tool. Only Wilt is the hashtag at StatHead at Over and Back NBA. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. We'll be back again soon.